Welcome in. It is Wednesday, time for Sports Idiot Nation, and you know Mr. T.I as the guy with the sunglasses. Today, we're going to find out his origin story and how he got there.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By T.I, for you idiots, for us all. Let's go back to the start.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome in to Sports Idiot Nation. It is a Wednesday, so it means it's your dose of myself, Miles Behind Enemy Lines, and the man of the hour, man of the year, almost, you could say, NFL man of the year, maybe. Titans Idiot Nation, Mr. T.I. And as promised, we're going to go through, every good comic book series, every good story needs the origin story. And that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to break it down and really get into, the over 30,000 followers and find out how a true idiot was able to obtain all this and from the podcast, everything. So, Mr. T.I., what I want to start with is walking us through the idea and then the first time that you put together either a video or something that went viral or a post, whatever that was, and walk us through that.
Yeah, well, first, before we dive into that, because it's very important to note that in the comic book world, we always either die the
Here
hero,
it comes. Here it
you
comes.
have to die the hero, right? I'm going to flip it. Either die the hero or you live long to see yourself become the villain. And
That's
we
not
all
flipping it. Wait, did he flip it?
Yeah, I was like, that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it is.
No, no, I just mean in general as a joke. Like, obviously, we live in the world where people, clamor to my social media, whether they love it or hate it. But there was a point in my life where I would get posts all the time, get comments where people were just like, "You're exactly what's wrong with the Titans fan base and all this," and I was always just like, "Oh, you guys are just falling right into my trap," Yeah. So shout out to Two-Face there, but no,
Not a true fan.
Yeah, man, it's really quite simple. Local sports radio for any city you live in is just a hodgepodge of ridiculousness. You have one good caller and 10 callers that call in, and it's just like the most ridiculous, dumbest stuff you've ever heard in your life. And these people have these takes where it's just like, oh, I feel sorry for the radio. People have to even entertain these folks, but they love it because they're getting clicks. So without like really, trying to talk bad about the folks that call on the radio, because there's nothing wrong with a guy who calls on the radio, right? But let's be real. The majority of those folks are kind of just unhinged to begin with. And so, long story short, one random day, many years ago, Titans played the Dolphins week 1. Marcus Mediocre was out there doing his thing. Marcus Mariota was doing his thing. And it was at the time, and I still think it is the longest game in NFL history, I believe. It had 4 or 5 rain delays. It had lightning, all this. There was a time when the players came out to the field. By the time they touched the field, another lightning strike hit, and they had to go right back in their lockers, By the time they actually got out to play, nobody wanted to play. Nobody wanted to be in that game. It was just like everybody's going through the motions.
It sucks because that's week 1. You should be excited, all right.
Yeah.
And you're like, God.
It was like a 5-hour game. It was like a 5 or 5.5 hour game.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go to a 5.5 hour concert. I mean, my God, let's just dial it back. That's a lot, right? Especially to try to watch on TV. So,
Makes you want to drink.
Yeah, makes you want to drink. That's right. Got a drink right here.
On a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday
drink.
morning.
Buy a Titan City of Nation koozie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do a barrel.
Throw it back with your boy T.I.
Shout out to alcohol. But yeah, so I like I say on my show a lot, I'm in my 9th year of creating content. I have a child that's about to turn 10 years old. So naturally, I was arriving to pick him up at preschool after work. Got there a little bit early. And I'm listening to talk radio. And these folks are calling in and they're unhinged. They have lost their mind. And they're just saying the most insane
After week one.
asinine
After week one.
Week one, they're acting like they just lost the Super Bowl on the most controversial call you've ever heard, right? And they're just like, I swear this team, this team, they don't want to play year after year. They don't care. They don't believe in the coaching. I swear that they're losing on purpose. I'm going to hang up and listen. It's always, I'm going to hang up and listen. For long-time listener, first-time caller,
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here to myself, and I'm just like laughing to myself, and I'm like, these fucking idiots, man. Like, my God, man, like, dial it back. Jesus, did you really think we were going to win the Super Bowl this year with Marcus freaking Mariota? Like, oh my God, So anyway, I pick up my phone, and this is 9 years ago. Technology is not what it was today. The quality of the video is not
phone?
that good.
You got a Samsung
No, it wasn't
flip?
a flip phone. Wasn't a flip phone, but it might as well
Razor?
be.
Is it a Razor?
No. It was like the
His
first.
sidekick.
BlackBerry.
It was like the first incarnation of an iPhone.
Crackberry.
It was actually
Crackberry.
it was actually like a stone tablet. It was like an abacus. No.
Were you jerking it off while you were doing that?
No, I don't do that. I was picking my kid up. We don't really do that when you pick your kids up at school. You might do that kind of
not
stuff when you pick your kids up, but so anyway, I'm just like, I picked my phone up and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna start mocking these people, and I videoed myself, and I just made 2 or 3 ridiculous fake calls, and then I went home.
You called the radio station, like
no.
Oh, okay.
I just pretended I was calling on my phone.
Yes,
like,
gotcha.
Hey, this is Jim Bob from Buck Snort, and I first time caller, long time listener, love you guys, but I just want to tell you, I think this team has quit on the coaches. I know it's only week one, but they just don't look like they have it together. And I just started doing that, and I just like, oh, this is so stupid. And I went home and I recorded a couple more of them.
Did you have sunglasses? Did you?
No,
at that
no.
time?
That's later. That's later. Don't.
Long.
Yeah, that's later. Don't interrupt me, Adam. How dare you? But we'll get to that. Just hold your horses. You already sound like the people calling the radio, Adam. Just wait.
See it
be
now.
patient.
I think this guy don't even have sunglasses. I think he quit on his
Adam,
social media.
Adam was meant to be born in Jolton. I'll just say that.
Whatever that is, sure.
Bolton, maybe. Dixon would be a close second. White Bluff might be more accurate.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's a little west, like Adam.
So I was like, all right, well, this is stupid. I went home and I watched a couple of the videos, and I was like, oh, these are so stupid. I'm going to download a video editing software on my phone. Download an app called Splice, which is still to this day I use the same app. It's actually sponsored by GoPro. GoPro, if you're listening, you owe me some money. So I edited this thing. The first video is so raw. It still even has like the watermark for GoPro in it. And in the end, it's upside down. Like it flips in upside down. I mean, it's so amateur, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to put it on my personal social media. Back in the day when my personal social media was public, my personal social media is private these days because of, what I'm doing. But this was a time when it was public, and I just left it. And I sent it to a few friends. They're like, oh, this is hilarious, And of course your friends are going to tell you you're hilarious. That's why they're your friends, right? I didn't think it was hilarious. And I came back, went to dinner, went and got some food, something, came back a couple hours later. And holy shit, man, it was like gangbusters. I had like 5, 6, 7,000 views or something, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but at that time was a lot because it was just like, I just threw some random shit out there. And I was getting these comments from strangers that were like, oh my God, I feel like I'm listening to local talk radio of these callers. And I was like, I'm not an idiot, man. I had a light bulb that hit, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I just do fake calls, right? So for like 4 or 5 weeks, I did fake calls. And that only goes so far, right? You just run out of material. How can you do that, right? How can you consistently do that? So if anybody that follows my videos and stuff know, I like to add layers to it. Every video I have has like 5 or 6 layers. There's the sound effects, there's the background, there's the association with Billy, there's the inside jokes, and then there's the just raw realness of it. And so I was like, okay, well, let's see what we can do here. So I started doing callers calling in, arguing with each other. I started doing callers who were brothers and callers who were just out of jail. And I started doing these character callers. And it was really, really hitting, and people were loving it. But personally, me, I was just like, I can't keep doing this because it's just really, I'm out of material. And so I started just slowly recapping games. I started slowly giving fake kind of like predictions. I started slowly kind of covering things. And before you know it, I had kind of like orchestrated into this whole little kind of conglomerate to where it was like, okay, I'm going to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about last week. I'm going to talk about this week. I'm also going to have fun. I'm also going to do something stupid. And I'm going to call players by the wrong names. I'm going to have an accent. The first 3 or 4 years, I had this terrible accent to where I just sounded like a complete idiot. I didn't use my regular voice like I do these days. But I mean, it was like, well, I don't really know about that. Like
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, for
I mean,
like
you're
3 or
in
4 years.
Tennessee,
The Tennessee
yeah.
twang. The Tennessee twang
Yeah.
is high pitched. Now, when you do Southern accents, every state really has a different hit to it or hitch to
Georgia
it. In
is
Tennessee,
different. Yeah.
I'm thinking about Tennessee is. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. It's the higher pitch. So you're spot on with that.
Well, I mean, like for instance, Adam, you're not familiar with our area, but I grew up in Bellevue. But when I moved out to Cheatham County in 6th grade, I lived in a town called Pegram, but the locals pronounce it Pigram.
Pigram.
And
yep.
there's a Netflix movie right now, apparently on Netflix, that is shot in Pegram, and in the whole movie, they all refer to it as Pegram, and I think it's hilarious. I haven't seen it, but I think it's hilarious because that's literally like the locals all call it Pegram. That's the whole redneck thing. And so I was like, I did that for a while, and it was like, all right, people like it or whatever, but it's just like I did the kind of like faux stuff, like the man, old Mitch Firkins, he's got all his tattoos and stuff. I did like a fake one where I had all these tattoos, and I actually like drew on myself and all these tattoos doing stuff. And it's like, it's great. It's hilarious. But man, you just run out of content, man. You run out of content so quick. And as you know, and Miles knows, especially with the podcast, what do we get every week from the sports world? New content. We get things to talk about. So I was just like, I have to kind of figure out how I can make this withstand for a long time. And so I started really like getting back to the drawing board. I started doing my videos every week, to where I was like, I'm not going to say they were scripted, but I did have an agenda. I would write down kind of what I was wanting to say. I would do multiple takes. I would do tons of takes. I would edit so much stuff. And now in the last 3 years, I went full improv. Like every episode I do is full improv. I don't even have an idea. I just go in, I record for 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes 15, and I just go and edit, and I keep what I like. That wasn't the case in the beginning.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real, yeah. But in the beginning, I was so focused on making sure that I was just like nailing everything, and everything was exactly what I wanted to say. And so I just started dialing everything back, and I started looking at it from a top level, and it was like, how can I make this withstand for longevity? And I just started I was like, okay, well, it's time to kind of like convert into a full-on sports kind of media outlet. And that's when I changed, like the original name to the page was just Titans Idiot, and that's when at like a New Year's Christmas one year, I made a big announcement. I was like, hey, everybody, appreciate all the support of the years. Can't tell you how much it means to help you all help me grow. I see you all in the comments. I see you all talking with each other. I see friendships that have made in the comments. I'm now giving this to you. I'm changing the whole name to Titans Idiot Nation because we're all part of this. And that's when it really, to me, started taking a little bit more of a...
Your answer right there, Adam, is okay.
Yeah, people started respecting it more. I think people felt they were a part of something. It wasn't like they were just liking my stuff. It was like they felt like they were being recognized. They were a part of it. And so, yeah, it slowly like walked from this ridiculous thing to where it was respected, to where it was tangible. And now, I have the largest. I mean, I don't even think there's a Titan group out there that has more followers than just my page. Like I'm not by any means am I the voice and the face of a Titans fan base. Absolutely not. but I'm about 75% of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I
You
will
and
say,
Wes,
man,
man.
I will say, oh yeah,
It's you and Wes.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing with Wes too. I mean, that's the thing. I was like, hey, Wes, here's the deal. You're hitting the X's and O's. I'm hitting the LOLs.
Exactly.
That's
Beautifully
awesome.
done.
Let's merge that and just take it over.
Make a
and
make
Make a baby.
social media
Yeah.
baby.
Baby.
Exactly. And then Austin Huff's in there too, baby.
But oh yeah, absolutely. Austin Huff is my mentor, man. He I mean you guys know Austin, but for our viewers out there, I don't think you people know how intelligent Austin Huff is. Like he's on another level. Like he understands all of this stuff from a completely different perspective. And when he reached out to me of wanting to work and kind of do stuff, it was like an honor for me because I was already a big fan of his stuff. So being able to like team up with Wes, being able to really like bring on Austin as a mentor and also a partner, it was just another step of credibility for me. But Adam, you asked about the shades, and this is what happened. Everything started blowing up. About year 3, things started really blowing up. And my wife was just like, here we are with at the time 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old son. We've got a lot of changes in our life, and we're just like, yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what this is doing. And she's seeing it. She's seen it blowing up. And she's just like, okay, you got to kind of figure out what this is and what we're doing with it, because you just can't keep doing this on your personal social media, and which I could, right? But what do you gain from that? You gain nothing, right? Oh, wow. You get some more friends
with a
or something.
family.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you gain absolutely nothing. So I started wearing the shades. And I was like, okay, well, I told her, I was like, well, I'll wear the shade. Nobody knows who I am. I'll just wear the shades, and then I have a Scott. So for our viewers out there, if you go back and watch my videos, you can really only find the first 3 seasons on YouTube. You can't, unless you're friends with me, you can go back to my videos and find them, but you're not going to find them. Majority of those, I'm not wearing sunglasses, I'm wearing my regular glasses. A lot of them, I'm not even wearing a hat. Like there's no character. It's more just like, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. I tell people all the time, thank you for sticking with me, because my God, when I go back and watch some of those first videos, I'm like, these are so terrible, but they're funny. They're still funny. They still make me laugh. Like I did a fake interview with Ryan. Who was the kicker for the Chiefs and the Titans for many years?
Suck up.
Yeah, suck up. I did a fake.
You're welcome.
Who's Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah.
Ask me another one.
Mr. Irrelevant.
That's right.
He knows all the Mr. Irrelevants because of his freaking starting quarterback.
But like I did a fake interview with him where I cut up a Titans interview, and it was me asking him questions like, I like one of the questions I asked him was like, I hear you're from Kansas City. They do a lot of meth in Kansas City. You don't do meth, do you? Like stuff like that, And then it started really kind of like translating a little more. And so I was like, okay, this is cool. The sunglasses will work. And then, I kind of built the page. But what really took it to the next level for my wife, where she was like, you got to figure it out. And I think I've shared this story before, but it's the story of when Taylor Lewan told me to go fuck myself.
We all know it.
It was an
It's
off
so
season,
beautiful.
and I baited him. It was all by design. I was like, I'm going to bait him into responding, because I haven't had, at this point, I don't have the guys out wearing the shades. I don't have the players comment. I don't have the coaches, laughing and being a part of the silliness. It's just me doing dumb shit, and I'm hoping somebody would recognize. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to bait Taylor Lewan into this. So it was this summer when Jonathan Sifrin was a free agent. He was coming off injury, and he was asking for some ridiculous amount of money. We ended up going with, what is his name? Guy from Texas, Kenny Vaccaro. We ended up going with Kenny Vaccaro at safety, or I think him and Sif were both safeties. They shared that video, and you've all probably seen it, of Taylor Lewan and somebody else in the hot tub, and they're like doing this little dance or something, Anyway, it's many years ago. So Jonathan Sifrin happens to comment on there. He's like, "Oh, y'all cold," or something like that. And it was already rumored out there that the Titans were cutting him. And so I commented in there, "Not as cold as the Titans cutting your ass." and I put hashtag Team Vaccaro. And Taylor Lewan immediately big brothered in there and was like, go fuck yourself, I'm Team Sifrin for life or something like that, whatever. And I didn't think anything of it. And oh my God, man, it lit up in wildfires. They were on the radio. I happened to make the comment like the same time when Taylor Lewan responded. They were live on the air. I had people texting me and they were like, bro, they're talking about your comment right now on the air, My brother is sharing on Facebook and he's like, oh, my brother fucked up today. And it's like,
he chose violence.
And I'm at home. My wife calls me. She's like, what the fuck did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. It's like, I that was by design, And that was at the point where she was like, figure it out. She's like going on Jonathan Sifrin's page and looking at photos of him. And she was like, look, I don't know. I don't want any of these people showing up at our house. She's like, figure out what you're doing, So that's where the whole social media thing took the next step. It became like an entity more so than a novelty. And fast forward to today, holy shit, man, and it's like, it doesn't matter wherever I go, like if I'm at, camp or if I'm at a game or whatever, man, it's just the blue shades, man, blue freaking shades. I mean, my brother and I went to the Metallica show. I put the thing out there. I was like, hey, it's like, where's Waldo tonight? Whoever can find me gets the shades. I was spotted 5 minutes walking into the concert, and, which sucked for me because I wanted to wear them all night, but I was like, oh, well, I guess I got to give them up. I didn't expect anybody to find me literally 5 minutes in the show, and it's like, it's just stuff like that. There's so many layers to it to where I wanted to make it fun for folks. It's not just about me. And that's the thing. Like we're such a small market that nobody knows we exist unless, you're in the AFC South. Like nobody's watching it. You think people out West are tuning our games outside of the Cardinals fans today or when we play the Niners or Seahawks? Like nobody cares, And so I see all these Titans content creators, all the podcasters, all the people, and they all, and I got love for all these folks. So this is not throwing shade, but they were all doing the same thing. They're all doing the same thing. Hey, this is who we played this week. This is what we do. This is who the players to watch out for. This is who might be give us trouble. And it's like, who cares, right? Who cares? I can find that on ESPN.
T.I, can I interject about how important your shades are to my life?
Sure.
Real quick. So I promise you, the federal government, maybe even ICE, is tracking your shades. So if you recall a couple years ago, when my wife was pregnant, we came out to one of your parties in Midtown in Nashville.
That's
and
right.
We all threw on the shades. You, myself, Anna, and then our buddy Alex, who's been involved with it. So that photo was sent in to the federal government to help prove that my wife and I had a relationship because she's from Brazil. And we had to, for immense reasons, had to give background photos that we're actually family, we're actually a couple. And one of the photos we sent in was that photo that I'm bringing up here, which clearly you remember because you knew Alex was a part of that. And you have to give a description for every photo. And I put it in this photo, my wife and I with our friends. And I didn't put your name, I put T.I and Alex in the iconic Titans Idiot Nation sunglasses. So as a part, which my wife now is on a green card. So thanks to you and your Titans Idiot Nation shades, we have welcomed my wife in to the United States. Thank you for your service to our nation. And I couldn't have done it without the glasses you're wearing tonight.
Dude, that is hilarious.
So what you're saying is, without my shades, you may or may not have your two children. So I mean, it's amazing. I'm just doing my part, and I'm really disappointed that they didn't give her a blue card instead of a green card because I mean, shades,
two-tone.
But
she's on a temporary one because we've been married less than 2 years, so it's only 2 years, and then it'll re-up, and then that's the 10-year green card. I'm very well versed in this, the whole immigration thing. I will suggest it. If Trump's in office still at that point, then I'm going to send to him, hey, it must be Titan Idiot Nation Blue. Just make it personal. If you make every car personal, we can balance out this whole immigration debate. Easy.
he might
We
still be
might
in
change
office.
domestic policy.
Yeah, he might still.
Okay.
He might still be in office at the end of his term because they may just
Right,
have to
2028.
just
Yeah,
have to
might.
go
You
go
never
to
know.
straight martial law at that point.
What I know from there is T.I. will still be in business in 2028.
Yeah.
He'll be in
Now
office.
I will say,
Running Idiot
so
Nation.
like, but the thing was, it was like, okay, well, everybody gets it. Everybody, oh, this is hilarious, your memes and this and that. But what I pride myself on is, and I can't do it anymore. And if for viewers out there, if you ever feel slighted because I didn't respond to your comment or acknowledge it, it is not by design. I'm the only admin of my page, and if you think a lot of pages that have 30 at this point you're watching this, we're going to be over 35,000 followers. If you think that pages like that only have one admin, then you're absolutely insane. They have like 10 or 11. I'm the only admin. I do my best to comment every page, every comment, and that's what I used to do. Is like I would comment to everyone directly. I would acknowledge their comment. I would respond, and people appreciate that. People feel if I follow a social media and they interact with me regularly, I will interact more. And so I started kind of building a following of that, of just being genuine and open to folks. And that was the thing, is that people always kind of took my memes and stuff as like I'm an idiot. And then I started sharing my takes and my football knowledge and shit like that. And people are like, oh, wait, turns out you're not as stupid as we thought. And I'm like, yeah, it's all a fucking act.
Not a moron, just an idiot.
The whole thing. Yeah, it's the whole thing. And so I started really like building, my goal was to not just be about me. My goal was to make it about the people. And that's why I started bringing all of like the social media content creators and everybody together. I told them all, I was like, look, you guys are great. Everybody does a great thing, but everybody does something different from the next. But guess what happens if we all work together? People will realize that the Tennessee Titans exist and will actually be out there, And so I took it upon my mission to be just basically like, man, the people, like I'm going to bring all these people together and tell them like, stop competing with each other. It's fine if you're in the Philly market or the New York market and you're trying to compete. I get that. But you're in the Nashville sports market, which is like, I mean, not being ugly, but man, in the NFL world, that's like, it's borderline bottom of the barrel. Let's be real about that, man. Like, Jacksonville and Tennessee are probably the two hardest teams to cover. And their social media folks in Jacksonville do such a good job. And I respect that because they're in the same boat as me. It's like, you got to have a.
I'd argue Carolina, they're quitting on themselves. So
yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, if you, like other team like the Chiefs, like I always joke about the Chiefs. Can you imagine how boring it is being a Chiefs content creator? Oh, we won another Super Bowl. Oh, Taylor Swift's here. I mean, it's
Good
like
Lord, it's so easy. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just you don't have to try hard. So, that's a thing too, is I think that people kind of gravitate to, is they're just like, man, I devote a lot of my time that I could be spending with my kid, that I could be, exercising, that I could be just figuring out better uses of my time than covering the Titans. But people look for my posts. People look for my videos. People look, for my takes, right or wrong, whether they want to hate, whether they want to troll me. I mean, I have people that have been following me since day one that still troll me every single day, and it's like, I don't care. That doesn't bother me, and that's the thing. If for anybody out there who thinks you're going to out troll me, like just bring it, because I serve y'all's asses left and right, and some of y'all are just too stupid to even realize it. Okay, but the followers,
he went full Tennessee twang there. Yeah, I don't know, Adam, if you heard that, he did.
Yeah. But the followers that get it, man, they really do get it. They appreciate it. They understand that. That it's not just me just trying to be stupid. It's me trying to bring recognition to the team. It's not about me. It's about like, hey, we're a bad football team. We've been a bad football team for a long time. It's now time to make the rest of the world understand that, yeah, we're a bad football team, but man, we still got a passionate fan base. We still have followers just like the next. Yeah, we don't have the Bills Mafia or the fly Eagles fly, or we don't have that, sure. But if you think, I mean, go to a Tennessee Titans game. Go to a Tennessee Titans game against a rival. Go to a Tennessee Titans home game against Jacksonville or Colts or Texas. Even if we're going to get our asses kicked, man, we're still there. I mean, we're loud. We're having a blast. Our tailgates are awesome. And so I was just like, why don't I embrace that whole mentality and bring that on a national scale? And that's really it. It's like, there's not a lot to it. I mean, people all the time. I mean, I get people call me fake fans and shit all the time. And I'm just like, fake fan. Like, yeah, what kind of fake fan would devote almost a decade of their life to creating content for a shitty football team? Like, my God, man.
Right.
I mean, don't you think I would pick a better football team to devote my time to? So
Right.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, so that's my whole thing, man. Is like there was a time when I just wanted to make people laugh, and then there was a time when I realized that people were actually interested in my take. And the past 3 years, I've just kicked it up a notch to where I've really got out there, like boots to the ground. Like, I'm out there going to training camp. I'm out there meeting the players, going out of my way to meet the coaches. I'm giving them shades, taking photos. I mean, in the last 3 years, I've really, I mean, hell, let's just say the last 2 years, I've had photos with shades on from, Will Levis, Brian Callahan, Chad Brinker, Mike Bergonzi. I mean, even Joey Sly, even, as you guys know, freaking Cody Rhodes. Like, the shades have become a life of its own, and what I explain to people, the shades are almost like currency. It's like, and that's what I told Cody Rhodes. I was like, hey man, got these shades for you. I said, I run probably the large, I at the time, I think I said I run the largest, which is, I wasn't lying, but I was like, I run the largest Tennessee Titans fan based, social media site. I know you're from Georgia. I said, but you are in Nashville right now, so you're an honorary member. Gave him the glasses, and he's like, you want me to wear them for the photo? And I was just like, bro, I'd be honored,
Like, yeah.
And he's
How
like,
do I say yes?
yeah. And he's
It's
like,
cool
well,
that he was like, he got it. Like,
he got it. And then he's like, hey, how about you wear the belt? And I was just like, oh, yes, please.
How about I take it home, Cody?
I mean,
how about see how far you can go with
How
it?
do I say yes?
Yeah, be real. Like, it ain't a foe. I mean, they go around. That's the thing about the wrestling. When they go and do these events, they're like, we bring the real stuff. And I just lucked out because I've managed a wine and spirits company for about 15 years of my life before I switched to software development, product management and stuff. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I was a pretty prominent figure in the business. I worked for a store that was, until wine went to grocery stores, it was the top 3 in the state. We would have the news come out every New Year's. We would have traffic backed up for miles. We were a huge store because where we were at, for like the next 30 minutes, there wasn't even a store. Everything's changed since then, right? But for the time, reps would come in, and it's like they knew that, hey, if we want to get something in the store, we need to talk to Jonathan, T.I. So, I already had a hookup there, and my buddy, I was like, hey man, I heard a rumor that Cody Rhodes is in town, and that he's doing some promo bits. And he was like, yeah, he's going to be at this spot at this time. And, I was like, okay, so I went down there, and the line was out, like out into the parking lot. And I was just
nice
like,
of you to say, you had the line backed up for miles. So nice of you to say it was backed up so long for me.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, man, and I hit my buddy Brian up. I was like, dude, give me the lowdown, man. Can I meet him? Can I give him some shades and all this? Like, do I got to wait in line and do all this? And I kind of got the preferential treatment there, a little bit. I was able to skip a little bit of line. I still waited in line. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't going to pass a bunch of kids up because I'm a man of the people. But man, it was just a really cool experience. And it's just stuff like that to me that lets me know that I've worked my ass off to get where I'm at. And I'm not by any means done. I mean, I'm just getting started with the stuff. I feel like the last 2 years between Titans City Nation, Sports City Nation, all this has just been this whirlwind of what's next for me. A lot of people like to go to the training camps and stuff and get photos and everything, but man, if you think it's easy to get these cats to throw shades on and take photos with you when they've got 100 people lined up to do this, they don't have time for that shit, and it's just a testament to how hard I've worked and how hard that I have really made sure that it's like I pay attention to every little detail. I make mistakes in my post just like the next. I'll make spelling errors and shit, but it's like I do my best to make sure the product that we put out is top notch. I slip up like the next guy, but man, I pride myself on my message. I pride myself on my content. I pride myself on my engagement, and I pride myself on my availability to followers. Because how many
So
pages
damn
you see
good at
that?
it.
Well, that's the thing. How many pages do you see that have 200, 300, 400,000 followers? But you go look at their posts that have 10 likes, that have 2 comments. And you know
Yeah.
why? Because all they do is post. And they don't
No
interact.
engagement.
They don't interact. And so if you're just an average person on social media and you come across a post and you make a comment and then you make a comment next one, make a comment next one, nobody's acknowledging, then you're going to drift off. But if you come to my page and you're like, oh, look at this idiot, who look at this clown, who's he think he is? And then I immediately come back, takes one to know one, and they're like, oh, look, this person is real. And then maybe they troll back and forth. Like I've had people send me messages on game days where they're like, man, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm this fan, I'm that fan, but I find myself rooting for you guys when I'm not playing y'all because your page, just shit like that. I even had one time, literally, like I got a post or got a comment. Guy was like, find better admins. And I sent him back the picture of the monkeys on the computer. And I was like, man, you're right. We've been trying hard. Our admins are just monkeying around. And he sends me back. He's like, you son of a bitch. You got me right back in, And it's just stuff like that a lot of folks don't do, man. A lot of folks don't engage. A lot of folks don't troll. A lot of folks are afraid to kind of dish it back because they're afraid of the perception that they portray. And I don't give a shit about any of that, I try to be respectful.
It's why we respect you. It's why we do respect you and love you, because the Titans Idiot Nation is just you. Sports Idiot Nation page, and you catch a lot of people because they think, oh, Titans Idiot Nation got commented back by Sports Idiot Nation. You're doing it to yourself. Well, Sports Idiot Nation, guess what? It's the 3 of us right here. That is the only difference. But Titans Idiot Nation is you and only you, forever and throughout the universe.
And a lot of folks I've had a lot of folks over the years unfollow because they're like, oh, it's not a group. I thought I could comment and all that. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, the reason why it's not a group is because the minute you make things group is the minute that it just gets devoured. It just turns into shit, man. How many groups you in? You see nothing but crap. Guess what? You have to approve every single. You have to approve every single damn post. Like, the thing is, with me being the only admin at my page, I know what goes in, I know what goes out, and that's all that matters to me. And it's important to me, I mean, it's what, I guess, in a long story short, to really kind of just sum it up, it's important to me to be available and tangible. I want somebody to feel like, oh, I can talk to this person, I can talk shit to them, and they're going to talk shit right back to me. If this person's like, I really love what you do, I appreciate it, they know that I'm going to respond to them in a genuine comment. Like, I'm not just going to ignore it. I mean, I had, I'm sure there's still followers of the page. I don't get a lot of those comments anymore or messages, but I had a guy send me a message one time and it absolutely made my day, man. He was like, man, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate what you do. He said, my son and I look forward to your videos every week. And to me, Miles knows, I've told him, I've even told my wife, the last thing that really I've ever really had a traction on were my videos. Like, I get the core because they're from the beginning, but in the grand scheme of things, like, there was one month when I had an 18 million reach back in the day of just my memes and all that. That's not coming from my videos, At the time, I was getting like 400 or 500 views on my videos, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good, And all that's changed, like, and so when I would get messages from like that, that's why I kept doing the videos, because I'm like, well, mentally, I'm like, nobody's even really watching these videos. They just care about my stupid fart jokes. But when I would get a message like that, it made me want to keep making those videos, whether people are watching them or not. And so I think that's the main thing. Consistency is key. So many people give up. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So many people just like, oh, I'm not getting the views. One of my all-time favorite hip hop groups, and a lot of folks are, is Outkast. And they have, their first album, they're talking about, playing the hole in the wall clubs, with like 100 fans. And I've always said, I don't care if your audience is 13 or 13,000, treat them the same. like treat them the same, treat them to your in an entire room, because those people are there to hear you. They're here to follow your stuff, and you have to make them feel a part of it. You have to make them feel wanted. You have to make them feel appreciated, that they're there. Because a lot of people take that for granted. You see these sites, NFL memes and shit like that. They're just stealing people's stuff all the time. There's no interaction. They don't give a shit, man. They're getting hitting crazy numbers because they're stealing all the best content and putting it out there. But I mean, we had Sports Memory on. He was, Drew was telling us how it all goes down. Same thing for me. I've seen all these pages stealing my shit all the time. And the first time I saw like Black Adam Scheffler and people stealing my stuff, that's when I knew that I had hit it. And I was like, I couldn't be mad. I was mad, but I couldn't be mad because I'm like, oh shit, man. Now I'm on the radar.
They're only stealing if it's good. Yeah. They're only stealing if it's good.
The really one that took off for me was the Snoop Dogg at the Pro Bowl, where he had his glasses up on his head and he was just stoned out of his mind, and he just looked like he didn't know where he was at. And I made a post. I was like, it looks like Snoop Dogg just realized he's at the Pro Bowl. Because I mean, who would go to the Pro Bowl, right? Nobody wants to be at the Pro Bowl. I didn't think anything of it. And yeah, man, all the outlets hit it. And then it got to the point to where outlets were even stealing it and rephrasing it to where it didn't even make sense. And I was like, shit, if you're going to steal my shit, just steal it. Don't try to make your own. It doesn't even make sense, Yeah. And so that was another thing too for me, is like, once you start getting that, I guess, that recognition, and you get that validity where you're like, okay, now people are appreciating what I do. It makes you want to do more. I mean, you guys are right there in the thick of things. You've seen some days where between all of our pages, I mean, I've probably made 50 posts. And then you go on some of these other pages, they may make a post a day, but I mean, it's just, I tell people that the algorithm never sleeps, man. The algorithm will eat you alive, or the algorithm will celebrate your life. It's up to you how you do it,
Yeah, got to keep feeding it.
So that's the thing, man. It's all about idiocracy. It's all about stupidity. It's all about self-deprecation. That's another thing. I constantly make fun of myself in a constructive manner. There's like I said, there's layers to everything. I think a lot of people think I just throw shit out there, but man, all my shit's calculated. Not all of it, but a lot of shit I do is calculated. A lot of shit is pre-planned. A lot of shit is like 3 and 4 steps ahead of, the average sports feed, because I am just looking to see how I can capitalize on the next thing. I mean, look at the freaking we ass movement where we're at right now, and all of that. I mean, we're, I don't know. I haven't fully calculated the number, but I mean, I think we're pushing like 500 shirts at this point,
It's week to week.
And that's the thing.
Some weeks we're not asked, some weeks we are.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't. You. Everything is timely. Everything is timely, and that's another thing. To any content creators out there, I get a lot of stuff. I get a lot of messages from younger cats out there doing stuff like, "Really love what you do, man. Can you give me some tips?" And I just tell them, sacrifice and timely. Those are the two things. You have to sacrifice some things that you're uncomfortable with. Maybe you have to sleep a little less. Maybe you have to stay up a little later. I mean, I'll be honest, man. There's been times when I have worked hours on editing a video, and I go back and watch the video, and I'm just like, oh my God, how did I do that? Or what did I do that? Oh, how did I leave that in?
I've done that.
And it's,
you literally have caught me. You guys have literally caught my videos where like, hey dude, you have the wrong date on here and you sent it like it's done. I'm like, now I got to go back and re-edit. Like, dude, I've done that.
We say that to you at times. It's okay.
I mean, it's been, it'll be midnight and you're like, all right, I'm good to go. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And like, I'm not good to go.
And next thing you know, it's 2:30 a.m. And, I, being a father, I mean, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. getting my kid, driving him to school. Luckily, I work from home most of the week, so it's a little easier for me to kind of be a little more laxed. But I mean, there's many times during a Titan season that I am going to bed at 2:00 because I'm editing something that I want to get out. It's not because I have to. It's because I am very strict about when I want that to be out, and I've been this year. My goal is to get my episodes out every Friday night at 5:00. So far, I've hit that 5 weeks in a row. And I don't think people know how hard that shit is, man. It really is. Like especially when you're fucking married and have a kid,
I do.
have life, yeah, totally.
Sure.
So that's the thing, man. A lot of folks just think I'm just this idiot out there posting and I'm just doing dumb shit. But man, I put my heart and soul into this, and I think the true followers really feel that, and that's why they keep coming back for more, man. I mean, I'm hitting insane numbers, right? Like 7 million, 7 million reach over the last like 5-6 weeks.
So
find me a team that's 1-4. That's their social media is getting 7 million followers with only or 7 million reach with only 35,000 followers. There ain't a lot of people doing it. There ain't a lot of people doing it.
So you talked about more. Let's end on this. Go through all of the nation pages. Obviously, don't forget this one. But what are all the nations that have spawned from this?
Yeah. So let's go in order, man. Let's the reason why let's be Sports Idiot Nation wouldn't exist without Titans Idiot Nation, and not because of what it is. It's because I completely miscalculated. Actually, I didn't miscalculate. Things blew up that I didn't think would. It's not really a miscalculation. It's, oh shit, this hit. Now it's bigger than I ever thought it would be. And so once I started covering other sports and stuff, people were just like, yeah, well, this isn't Titans related. This isn't Titans related. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I say in the taglines, even on my page, just not just Titans. We talk Tennessee Titans, but we also talk football, sports, comedy, pop culture. And so I was just like, I got to find a way to backtrack this without sacrificing what I built. And I said, I need a launch pad. And, that's where kind of Miles comes into play as well, because Miles, right when I'm like putting this idea together, Miles slides into my DMs. Didn't ask for any nudes, which was great. And he was like, hey, like what you do. I'm a writer. Check out some of my stuff. Let me know what you think. And Miles didn't know I had a journalism degree. Miles didn't know I went to MTSU. And so I'm like, I read it and I was like, man, this is really good. And I told him, I was like, hey man, I have a journalism degree. I'm a writer myself. I think that this is excellent work. Here's my plan. I don't know when this is happening. I don't have anybody involved. I'd love to bring you on. And, so we Miles came down to Nashville. We had a couple beers, had a great time, hit it off. We talked about everything under the sun, not just Titans, we talked about life, talked about politics, you name it, And I was like, yeah, I like this dude. Told my wife, I was like, yeah, I like Miles. I think I'm going to work with him. And then, we were trying to figure it out. And then I was just like, well, fuck it, man. Let's go ahead and bring you in. Let's just figure out something we can do while we're figuring out what this is. And we came up with the Miles Behind Enemy Lines. We started doing some articles. He was doing his stuff. I was doing, my, the good, the bad, and the what the fugly. Now, granted, we're both way too busy right now to be doing that because we've built this whole bigger thing. And so we just kind of like slowly walked that. And he brought you on. He was like, hey, and you reached out to me, and we had the podcast, and now here we are. With that being said, the Sports Idiot Nation is now serving as the launch pad for everything, because it's a catch-all. You can talk about anything you want. You can go any other route. So with that being said, we have taken the Sports Idiot Nation. What was the first one?
Yeah, what was
the first spinoff? Was racing, because Devin had reached out. Yeah. Devin had reached out. Now we have Trent,
Turtles.
Yeah, now we have Trent. Trent is taking over racing, obviously,
right.
But Devin originally reached out, was like, hey, what do you think about expanding? And I was just like, man, I don't know shit about racing. I'm not a racing fan, really, to be honest. Right. I'm just not, I respect it. Who doesn't respect cars going fast? But, there's not a lot going on there for me.
So, racing.
So we went for racing. Then it was like, Matt reached out to me. It was Matt reached out with wrestling because he saw racing, and he was like, hey, I see you post a lot about wrestling. I see you post a lot of wrestling stuff. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm a huge wrestling fan. Not so much these days, but growing up, it was a very important part of my life. And
Good deal.
I still respect it. I just don't have the time to sit around and watch it all, you know? And so Matt was like, hey, I'd love to do this. And so I started working there. And then obviously you and I and Miles started joking about the turtles.
Yeah,
And
so then
we
turtles became
made
a
a
thing.
joke and like, let's do turtles. And then at that
It's over
point,
4,000 people. Yeah.
my God. Yeah. So at that
That's
point, it
what
was
I
like,
was
all right,
looking up. Yep,
let's
at
just
4,000.
let's just keep it going. And so we got turtles. Then of course we already had Jacob from the beginning. Jacob was one of the first cats to really believe. Like the first, I would say the first two people to ever believe in Titans City Nation were my brother and Jacob. And I both told them they were idiots. I was like,
Fair.
you guys are fool. I was like, you guys are fools. This isn't going anywhere, you know? And so Jacob
Adam,
would come
hold up
down
the
to me
shirt.
to the,
Yeah.
Well, so
Great.
Jacob would come down to the
So
tailgates and video. You know, he's a great videographer. You know, he does a lot of drone camera work and stuff. Jacob's like a Renaissance man. He's a great musician, plays piano, plays guitar. Like he's kind of all over the board. You know, great father.
He's
got
an
2
idiot.
kids himself.
Great.
We just had a lot in common, and we also knew each other from the hip hop world in Nashville because he was doing a lot of hip hop stuff in Murfreesboro. I was doing a lot of hip hop stuff in Nashville. With me going to school in Murfreesboro, we already kind of exactly. We already kind of like crossed paths, and so once we obviously kept expanding, I was like, okay, got to get him on hoops because, man, I mean, like I said, his last name's Spalding.
Yeah,
My
so
God,
Hoops
man, you
Idiot.
know, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And then we just
Then
kept going, man.
Gridiron.
At that point, it was like Puck, Gridiron.
Gridiron.
I've still been talking to Joshua Toomey. You know, he's got everything going on, but he still wants to run Rock. He just hadn't had the chance to help launch it. So we're going to be bringing him in to do that. So, I mean, it's at this point, it's like.
Film.
Yeah, film. We got that. We just launched that. We got
Newest.
Puck. We've got Gamer. Man, there's like 10 of them now. And
That's crazy.
That's the whole thing is like, I want to build, I told Miles,
We can't
told
even
you,
keep track.
I said,
know,
I've got a 5-year plan. I said, you either buy in or you don't. I said, at the end of it, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I said, but I trust my plan. And we're about a year and a half into that plan. And I feel like we are way ahead of where I thought we would be. So got a good feeling about things, man. I'm trying to, and of course we got Jay Harper there as well. Jay Harper is wanting to bring us into his game time so we can have all of our all of our podcasts on his Roku, Amazon channels and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean that's still in the works
He's been
too.
on the
Like
show a couple times.
we're
And
trying
he
to
has
build
around Game Time and Around the Drain podcast I just learned about.
Yeah, that's brand new. Just launched that. So I mean, that's the thing. Like I'm trying to build, you know, not just a sports network. I'm trying to build a media network of not just
Empire.
us, but obviously our
You mean
empire is a
empire.
better word. Well, that's the thing, and not just us. Like all of our affiliates, you know, like all the folks that we love and respect out there doing the thing. You know, Drunk Phil's fans. You know, Sports Memory, Cork Bats. Wes Wisely. Now that Wes is out there, everybody knows what he looks like. You know, I'm trying to get him on
Sports
the
with
podcast.
balls.
Yeah, just all that. And so, you know, I'm excited to see the next few years how this thing transpires because, man, you know, here's my thing: A to Z Sports. All these cats that are out there. Like, how did they start? Right? They started with a dream. They started with like-minded individuals, and they had the right background. Well, I mean, Sports Idiot Nation, Titans Nation, all this is a business entity. I have a journalism degree, a legit journalism degree from MTSU. What is preventing me from finding the loophole of me being able to get a press pass, me being able to do that? So it's like, once we get to the point to where we build this to where I want it to be, that's my next step, is to find that to find that loophole to where I have the ability to show up Titans press conferences and ask questions and stuff, you know, Brian Callahan, you know, like
we're going to ask those questions,
you know, I know. PK,
So stay tuned.
PK, shut up. Just shut up, PK.
Yeah.
It's my turn, you know? But I mean, it's just stuff like that. That's the thing.
That goes.
I guess if anybody can take anything away from this is like, I like to have fun and I like to be silly and I like to troll, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm a businessman and I have a good product and I'm not going to let anybody tell me that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because I've already proved it, you know? And I'm just so excited to have you guys on, have you guys like believing in it and want to be a part of it. And Adam, your podcast background, like everything, like I mean, I saw a post today where somebody was advertising. We've done 500 episodes since 2013, and I was just like, that's amateur shit, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, man, we've done like 135 episodes in like a year and a half. Like, get out of here with that
It's
nonsense.
more than that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's just the thing, man. Putting in the work with like-minded folks that like to have fun, but also know that, man, it ain't all about having fun. Sometimes you gotta have some tough conversations. Sometimes you gotta, and granted, we haven't argued with each other or anything, but like, we all have differences of opinions, but it's all constructive, but
Yeah.
we're all on the same page, and that's the main thing to me is like really sacrificing some stuff with a group of folks that believe in your idea, and trying to take it to the next level as a unit. So, I mean, I have friends from high school that have been in the last year and a half texting me like, so what's your plan here? What's this? And I've told them all. Same thing I told Miles, same thing to you. I got a 5-year plan. My 5-year plan is to take over a significant chunk of not only the national sports market, but, just the national sports media. I tell people, I'm not trying to be ESPN. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to just, told Miles from the beginning, trying to do the fringe sports, the story within the story. We can always say like, oh, Joe Schmo hit a home run and Joe Schmo did this, but there's always the story within the story that is hilarious or heartwarming or touching or sad or whatever. There's always an extra story out there that nobody's covering. And that's what I want us to do. And that's what we are doing. So I just am glad to be able to bring Titans fans along because we're such a small market that now they feel like they get a little bit of recognition and feel like they're part of something.
In this episode, we hope that T.I has touched you in the best way possible. Remember, new episodes come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Follow all of the idiot verse that we went through and subscribe, send us your monies, we want to be touched by you. So remember again,
Maybe
new
on the
episodes
ass.
come. Yeah.
Can you show me
right after you kiss it?
Can you show me on the doll where T.I touched you?
Yeah. New episodes come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which means we will see you Friday. Thank you for watching this episode of Sports Idiot Nation. Remember, we are on all social media and on YouTube, and the podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, because you watch Sports Idiot Nation,
you would be the smartest idiot in the whole world.